Good morning, everybody. This is Kim Danke coming to you live on this Wednesday morning, April 13th, 2022. We are 103 days in to the 2022 edition of the Game of Life, and I hope that you're playing along with me. I'm actually going to go to a Braves game today and cheer them on, and it should be a lot of fun. My husband's all excited about it, being the winning team of the what's it called? World Series. So he's all excited about going and everything. He wanted to go the other night and get those World Series replica rings, but they were sold out, completely sold out, and they have sold out of a lot of games. But today is the day they're going to also kind of celebrate the Georgia Bulldogs being the national champions as well. So he's excited about that. Last night he was picking out his clothes. He was laying the clothes on the bed. I think I'll wear this one. I think I'll wear this one. This one, if I wear this black Brave shirt, it's got red on it, enough red on it, and when I wear my red Georgia Bulldogs hat, it'll look good together. That is how excited he is to go to that game today. I don't have that same level of excitement. At first, I had an excitement about eating popcorn and Cracker Jacks, but now I am out of holiday mode and I'm not really wanting to have a holiday. Plus, I'm going to have holidays this weekend for Easter when I go out of town, and I am at 140.5. If I were to have a holiday today and pop back up there, I will not be underneath my line when I start over the weekend having holidays. So I'm planning on taking popcorn, but I'm planning on taking the approved Skinny Pop. That way I have approved popcorn, so I'm eating that popcorn. And I'm going to take an extra and a snack and lunch and just eat it all, but it'll all be approved food, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm not planning on having a holiday today, even though I originally planned to have a holiday as today. But when you get out of the holiday mood, do not force yourself to have a holiday just because you had one planned on the calendar. Don't do that at all, because then you might end up in 2 or 3 days of holiday, and then you might have to lock it in for a longer period of time. So if you're not in holiday mood, do not take it, even if you already had it scheduled. All right, when you hop on here this morning, please say good morning, where you're watching from, and what type of Shibboleth day you're going to have today. I'm going to have an intermittent fasting perfect day today. And today's word of the day for 365 names, titles, and attributes of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit is God of deliverances. He can deliver us from many things. And just like in that wilderness mentality that we talked about yesterday, we need to go in and take possession of those deliverances. So seek out your deliverance and take possession of that deliverance. So I know y'all are going to be commenting today, but I actually have a lot to read today because this is so good that I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I will read these after. I titled today's show A Cloud of Witnesses, and this came from one of the devotions that I read, and it says, and then I looked up the Amplified, and then I looked up in the Amplified the verse, but I couldn't quit reading, and all of it applies. And then I was reading the Tony Evans Bible commentary. I was like, okay, all of this, I got to do it all. But I want to start off with this little bit from this devotion. Anybody remember Derek Raymond? He is not a household name, but few could forget the injured runner in the Barcelona Olympics who was helped around the track by his father as he struggled to finish the race. No medals are given for bravery and love, but if they were, Derek Raymond and his father would have won the gold. The writer of Hebrews evokes just this sort of imagery when he describes the great cloud of witnesses that surrounds the Christian as he strives to finish the race of life. Who are these witnesses? They're those believers who have gone before us, having completed the race. They're heavenly witnesses. Abel is there saying, "Nothing but the blood. You can make it." Moses, staff in hand, is saying, "You may feel cornered, but God's power will see you through impossible situations." Gideon is saying, "You may be outnumbered, but keep running. Stay in your lane." Samson is saying, "Even if you've been caught in sin and scarred, God can still use you. Keep on." David is saying, "Murder, adultery, God's seen it all before. Seek his face and run your race." So what I'm going to go over today was inspired by that devotion that I read. And then I pulled out my Amplified Bible that my mom gave me recently. And I went to Hebrews 12:1, which I do love this verse, and I have used it many times in Shibboleth, and one of my Shibboleth founding verses is also in this section that I'm going to read, Hebrews 12:11. So it was great. And now that I've kind of started reading the Amplified Bible, it's fun to see where they amplify certain parts. So that's what I'm going to read today. I'm going to read Hebrews 12:1 through 16. Therefore, then, we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses who have borne testimony to the truth. Let us strip off and throw aside every encumbrance, unnecessary weight, and that sin which so readily, deftly, and cleverly clings to us and entangles us, and let us run with patient endurance and steady and active persistence the appointed course of the race that is set before us. I'm going to stop right there and say, it says active persistence. That's just like repetitively applying what we do in Shibboleth. It's active persistence. Looking away from all that will distract to Jesus, who is the leader and the source of our faith, giving the first incentive for our belief, and is also its finisher, bringing it to maturity and perfection. For the joy of obtaining the prize that was set before him, endured the cross, despising and ignoring the shame, and is now seated at the right hand at the throne of God. Just think of him who endured for sinners such grievous opposition and bitter hostility against himself. Reckon up and consider it all in comparison with your trials, so that you may not grow weary or exhausted, losing heart and relaxing and fainting in your minds. You have not yet struggled and fought agonizingly against sin, nor have you resisted and withstood to the point of pouring out your own blood. And have you completely forgotten the divine word of appeal and encouragement in which you are reasoned with and addressed as sons? My son, do not think lightly or scorn to submit to the correction and discipline of the Lord, nor lose courage and give up and faint when you are reproved or corrected by him. For the Lord corrects and disciplines every one whom he loves, and he punishes, even scourges, every son whom he accepts and welcomes to his heart and cherishes. You must submit to and endure correction for discipline. God is dealing with you as with sons. For what son is there whom his father does not train and correct and discipline? Now, if you are exempt from correction and left without discipline in which all of God's children share, then you are illegitimate offspring and not true sons at all. Moreover, we have had earthly fathers who disciplined us, and we yielded to them and respected them for training us. Shall we not much more cheerfully submit to the Father of spirits and so truly live? For our earthly fathers disciplined us for only a short period of time and chastised us as seemed proper and good to them. But he disciplines us for our certain good, that we may become sharers in his own holiness. For the time being, this is one of my founding verses for Shibboleth. For the time being, no discipline brings joy, but seems grievous and painful. But afterwards, it yields peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. A harvest of fruit which consists in righteousness, that is, in conformity to God's will and purpose, thought and action, resulting in right living and right standing with God. So then, brace up and reinvigorate and set right your slackened and weakened and drooping hands, and strengthen your feeble and palsied and tottering knees. That might be needed by many of us afternoons and evenings. And cut through and make firm and plain and smooth straight paths for your feet. Yes, make them safe and upright and happy paths that go in the right direction, so that the lame and halting limbs may not put out of joint, but rather be cured. Strive to live in peace with everybody and pursue that consecration and holiness without which no one will ever see the Lord. Exercise foresight and be on the watch to look after one another, to see that no one falls back from and fails to secure God's grace, his unmerited favor and spiritual blessing. In order that no root of a resentment, bitterness, or hatred shoot forth and cause trouble and bitter torment, and that many become contaminated and defiled by it. That no one may become guilty of sexual vice or become a profane, godless, and sacrilegious person, as Esau did, who sold his own birthright for a single meal. So this can be applied in so many different ways, but what's encouraging is that we have a cloud of witnesses that go before us in the Bible, and they are there encouraging us. And then when we think about Shibboleth, all you have to do is go to the Shibboleth website and look at the testimonies. That's all you have to do is go in there and look at the testimonies. There's a cloud of witnesses. And I've heard Travis say recently, in the addition of 20 years of him helping people, it's millions of pounds of weight loss and millions of inches. And if we let that be an encouragement to us, this really works. We just need to keep going. All right, so now I'm going to read to you that same part of the Bible, but from Tony Evans's Bible commentary. Chapter 11 is a long chain of testimonies about what faith can do. Then the author says, therefore, since we also have a large cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us run with endurance. It's like parading a previous boxing champion through the ring before a fight. He shakes the contestants' hands and says, I've been through this. I can testify that you can endure and emerge as a victor. Clearly, the author wants his audience to lay aside every hindrance and the sin that so easily ensnares. When I think about hindrances, fear of missing out, fear of not pleasing our taste buds, fear of not looking like you're part of the group, those are some hindrances for us, I believe. And their spiritual immaturity and unwillingness to grow through living by faith had become an encumbrance. Okay, now let me read that again. Their spiritual immaturity and unwillingness to grow through living by faith had become an encumbrance. Let's throw that off. An Olympic sprinter strips off his warm-up gear to eliminate extra weight and wind resistance. Similarly, we need to jettison unbelief. You know what? When I read that this morning, jettison means boom, gone, out of here. Then it said jettison that unbelief. Believe you can live the Shibboleth lifestyle. Jettison any unbelief about it and faithfully work through those daily disciplines every day. Jettison that unbelief and anything in our lives that might trip us up spiritually and prevent us from running the race we were all the way to the finish line. We also need to keep our eyes on Jesus, the source and perfecter or completer of our faith. After all, we started with Jesus, and if we keep our eyes on him, he will get us through the Christian journey. Have you ever been running and felt like you wanted to quit? Me, all the time. I don't run much, but you know what I mean. Then someone draws alongside you and encourages you to keep going, enabling you to go farther than you could have managed by yourself. It's kind of what we do in Shibboleth. Travis comes on live at 11 and noon. Alicia does Sunday night. I'm on here in the mornings and then live in Kennesaw. So, you do have people that are willing to come up beside you. And I was so excited that I think it was Dana who said that she met a friend who lives met another Shibboleth member who lives just 10 minutes away from her. They met on Alicia's Sunday night accountability meeting. So it's really great that we can do that. And I hope that was you, Dana. Please correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. When this happens, it shifts the focus from your pain to the person helping you, and you get a second wind. Similarly, if you keep your attention on him, Jesus will enable you to able you to persevere through your development. See, that's great. That's not like we're a human doing, we're a human being, we're developing, we're in formation. So he will help you persevere through your development and reach your destiny. How did Jesus himself reach the finish line? For the joy that lay before him, he endured the cross. So coming up in 2 days is Good Friday, the day that he endured the cross for us, despising the shame. The joy would come on Sunday, but the shame had to be endured on Friday. The Son of God made it through Friday by keeping his eyes on Sunday. We need no better example. When he ascended back to the Father in heaven, he sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Regardless of the suffering and trials you're facing, know that Resurrection Day is coming. The author wants his readers to do what Jesus did so that they won't grow weary and give up. He also reminds them of 2 things. First, they had not yet resisted to the point of bloodshed. That is, they had experienced significant difficulties, but they were still living. And if you are still here, God isn't finished with you. Second, they had forgotten the exhortation that addressed them as sons. In 12:5-6, the author quotes from Proverbs 3:11 and 12 and encourages them to endure suffering as discipline because God is treating them as sons. Discipline includes both positive and negative repercussions, instruction and correction. Parents are to instruct their children and train them to live with wisdom, but when a child is obedient, a loving father also disciplines him. Whether through instruction or correction, the end goal is the child's development. If a good parent takes this matter seriously, how much more does God? God is a perfect parent who disciplines his children perfectly. If you are without discipline, which all receive, then you are illegitimate children and not sons. Illegitimate children in ancient Rome had no rights and could not be beneficiaries of an inheritance, which all receive could be translated, of which all are partakers. The Greek term for partakers is the same word we saw earlier, meaning companion or partner. Thus, the author is reminding them that if we want Christ's special companions, partners, partakers, and receive the inheritance, his kingdom blessings in history and eternity, they must be willing to submit to the fatherly discipline and grow. Godly fathers discipline their children as best they can, but our Heavenly Father always disciplines us perfectly and for our good. No discipline seems enjoyable at the time, but painful. So when I think about that as part of my foundation verse for Shibboleth, sometimes people have to persevere and overcome in weight loss mode to get where they want to go. And even in maintenance mode, you've still got to persevere and overcome. And it might seem it's not enjoyable at times, and it might seem painful, but keep going, because the fruit that I have experienced over the past 3 years of learning this is so worth it. And applying it daily is so worth it. So discipline seems enjoyable at the time. No discipline seems enjoyable at the time, but painful. So don't expect otherwise. Few children enjoy being disciplined or thank their parents for it afterward. But if you will humbly receive God's fatherly discipline, you will grow in holiness and righteousness. And I highlighted this part. He wants you to be trained by it so you can experience your relationship with him at another level. Who wants to go to another level in their spiritual relationship with the Lord? I know I do. So I highlighted that because I'm seeking that and looking for that right now. So there's different things that speak to you at different times when you are doing Bible study. If your hands are tied and your knees are buckling, don't give up. Keep walking the straight and narrow. As with any kind of training, regular submission to godly discipline leads to increased strength and righteousness. You know how, you get out of that holiday mode. You don't want a holiday, and just stay out of that if you don't want a holiday. That's where you can get that increased strength. The author exhorts them to pursue peace and holiness. That is their sanctification. Keep striving in your spiritual development and be aware of any root of bitterness in your life. When you're experiencing troublesome circumstances, you're in danger of resenting what God is doing in your life, but resentment will only serve to compound the problems. And last but not least, the author not only points to positive examples to emulate the Old Testament saints in chapter 11 and Jesus in 12:2 and 3, but also to negative examples to avoid. Don't yield to transitory pleasure like Esau, who sold his birthright for a bowl of soup. Though he regretted it later, it was too late. He had forfeited his inheritance. God had blessings in store for you, has blessings in store for you, an inheritance. Don't be like Esau and foolishly throw away your reward for fleeting temporal gratification. So, all of that was so good in so many different ways in us growing in our relationship with the Lord and in us actively applying some daily disciplines that either must be done in a day, like water and journaling and eating in the right food combinations and eating in the right portions and giving ourselves that break between meals. And there's things that don't need to be done in a day. Grazing, overeating, and all the things that aren't the shield. Okay, so it's really a give and take, and we need to be consistent at that. And so this today really meets us in several places. And I hope you enjoyed it. I really do. Let's see what y'all are saying this morning. You know what? If you, right now, one way to wrap up today's devotion, let's type in how much weight the Lord has delivered you from right now, because that's the word of the day. How much has he delivered you from? You know, we can look at that word deliverance in so many ways, but you know, we're focused on our health on Shibboleth. So let's type that in today. I want to see some of those. That would be awesome. Hey, Charlene, good morning from Michigan, having a perfect day. And Valerie, good morning from Indiana, having an IMF day. Dana, good morning. Hectic day in Mulvane, Kansas, heading to Harper, Kansas, getting to teach a Bible study and work with a children's ministry. That's awesome, Dana. IMF day with a backup plan going with me to stay perfect. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Hey, Amanda, happy weigh-in Wednesday, celebrating my hard work this week with 4.4 pounds down from last week. Congratulations, Amanda. That's awesome. I'm having a perfect day today. I hope you have a great day too, Amanda. Hey, Lori, good morning. Today will be a perfect day. That's awesome. Lori, I thought that was funny that when your friend saw that you were on here, she says, you should join Shibboleth. You're like, I already am. That was fun. Hey, Cheryl, good morning. Tiger 16 day, Savage Day, walking 10 miles in Clarksville, Georgia. Wow. I'm having 3 holidays this weekend with family and friends. And Cheryl is part of the cloud of witnesses. She is one of the Shibboleth cloud of witnesses. She knows what to do to prepare for holidays. She knows this program. She can boom, 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 know this, do this. I mean, we just need Cheryl to come on and teach us one day. So she is in prep for 3 holiday weekends, 3 days, 3 holidays this weekend with family and friends, and she's in preparation for it. I love that you do that, Cheryl. Thank you for being a wonderful part of the Shibboleth cloud of witnesses. Hey, Orozco. Hey, Orozco. I hope I'm saying that properly. Pensacola, Florida. Perfect day. Hey, Lainey. Perfect day in Woodland, Alabama. Where's Woodland? Tell me where Woodland is. Hey, Michelle. Good morning. Watching from the car. IMF day. Hey, Cindy, good morning. St. Paul, Virginia. Hey, Gina, good morning. Happy Wednesday, perfect day. Hey, Rebecca, good morning from Bowden, Georgia. Now, Rebecca, y'all, she won a Biggest Loser contest out at her gym in Bowden. Congratulations, Rebecca. She lost 20 pounds in the time period that they were doing that and won. I said, tell them you know the secret. It's going to be a perfect day. I feel so good eating better. Yes. Down 4 pounds since Sunday. Congratulations. That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm down 4 pounds since then too, but it's because I had holidays that put the 4 pounds on. But see, that's the kind of thing that you do in maintenance. And guess what? You're just as excited in maintenance to get those 4 pounds off that you put on too. So, hey, Paula, good morning. Perfect day. Trying to practice good journaling habits. Yes, it is. You know what? Call it the art of journaling. The art of journaling. We have the art of Eating well, the art of controlling insulin. Think of it as something beautiful that you're doing, Paula. Dana, okay, I thought it was you. That's awesome. I'm glad that you met somebody so close. Hey, Rebecca. Okay, after my winning of Biggest Loser, I had numerous people messaging me willing to pay me to help them with dieting. It felt nice to be able to say lots of praying and a little shibboleth discipline is painful, but so worth it. Yes, it is worth it. Good morning, Jonathan. Wow challenge for Jonathan today. You know, Jonathan's in his 4th year living shibboleth, he and his wife, Kimberly, and, you know, he is still applying these things. See, that's the thing. You can't just do something for the short term. You have to adopt it as your lifestyle. Use the pieces and parts that Travis has put together for us because it's a brilliant program. Jonathan's pulling out a wow challenge today. That's awesome. Charlene, thank you. Yeah, she said the devotion is very encouraging. That's awesome. Let's see. Jada says, I have had a couple of people who have joined in trying to encourage them and help educate of perfect days. A process I have taken as easy seems hard to others. Yes, it does. We'll continue to encourage others to persevere. You know, I think, like I've said many times, it's not that it's hard to understand. It's the mental effort to make yourself do it to the point of making it a new habit. That's the hard part, I think. Valerie Herman, 25. Delivered. Oh, I love that. Dana wrote, delivered 45 pounds. Congratulations. Okay, I may just spin this in the end. Jada, 81 pounds and 1 to go to set my goal and 1 to go to get my goal. I had to do that. Oh my goodness. I feel like I got to do this for everybody. Delivered from 65 pounds so far. Amanda, man, you have just taken that 50 and just blown it, jettisoned the other 15 so far. Rebecca says, up and down since January. The most I've lost is 25 pounds. Praise the Lord. 4 pounds down since Sunday. That's awesome. Orozco, getting back on my Shibby family. Awesome. We're glad you're here. Don't leave us again. Laney, delivered from 31.2 pounds. Marlene, hello, from Massachusetts. I hope. MA is Massachusetts. Hoping for an IMF day. You can do it. You can do it. Cheryl has made a 63-pound weight loss for 10 years. That is amazing. That's awesome. I love that Rebecca is encouraging. Orozco, you call me Nellie. I'll call you Nellie. I thought that's what you were called. I just didn't want to get it wrong. So I'm glad. Thank you for telling me that. Christy, perfect day in Ringgold, Georgia, down 14 pounds in 2 weeks. Girl, I know that you feel good. It's awesome. I'm glad y'all are tagging your friends. Thank you, Rebecca. Good morning, Michelle from Jasper, Tennessee. A wow today for her also. And y'all, Michelle just had a new grandbaby, a beautiful boy. Hey, Lainey, good morning. Woodland, Alabama, middle of nowhere. Just kidding. Not far from Bowden. Okay, not far from Bowden. That's awesome. Well, I drive I-20 all the time to go to Birmingham. Actually, I really go to Pell City more. Well, I've been going to I don't know. I say that because I enjoy going to Pell City more. I don't like going to Birmingham. I don't like anything about going over there. And I don't know why. I think it has to do with, I don't know. But anyway, I'd rather go to Pell City just because I think it's just, okay, Daisy, okay. There she comes. Look, there you are. She was like putting her feet on my legs. Pick me up, Mama. Pick me up. But anyway, and I don't know. I don't know why I went into all that. Rebecca says, my side of town, delivered from 84 pounds, Michelle says. Oh, there she goes again. And I love that y'all are talking. Okay, awesome. Well, I will see y'all later. Y'all have a great and wonderful day. And make it a wonderful day. And if y'all go to church on Wednesday nights, you know that, going to church can help you grow in your spiritual walk. And it's great to do it with other people. So go to church tonight. Instead of watching on TV, y'all, go to church. Go with the other witnesses. Be there with them. And then I'll see you tomorrow morning. All right. Bye, everybody.